Hey guys, Trevor the Great here again with another Warmachine battle report. This is the last report from my tournament last week, 35-point steamroller tournament. Very cool. So how this worked is that if you watched my previous reports, I played my first game against the Barnabas player, beat him pretty quickly with an epic Stryker assassination. Round 2, I played against a circle player, and I just completely forgot how to play the game and got annihilated. So that put me at 1-1. My friend Brian was also at 1-1 that game. First round, he played the circle player. Second round, he played the Barnabas player. He obviously lost against the circle player, won against the Barnabas player, and we were both pretty much at the same station in the tournament. So, being 2-2, the circle player won the tournament, was able to walk away with a couple of dollars in store credit at the local gaming store that this was run at. But Brian and I were obviously pretty much almost tied for first and second. So we actually went down all of the tiebreakers. Obviously, we were the same in wins and losses. I think none of us actually took any control points. Just because we'd either lost our games so quickly or won them so quickly. Both of our games, I think, went pretty much the same way. In battle points, we were actually exactly even, which was kind of ridiculous. So what actually ended up happening was that because the game I had played against the Barnabas player included reinforcements, my opponent had brought in a bull snapper, which is an additional 3 points. Since I killed his warlock, his battle group counted as being destroyed as well, which gave me the 3 points for the bull snapper that my opponent, or that my friend Brian, didn't have a chance to get because he had not played with reinforcements. So I was up by 3 battle points, and that put me in second place. And I was like, wait a minute. Are you saying that the choice of scenario put me at second place rather than third place? And the Preg Scanger was like, yeah, of course, that's how the tiebreakers work. And I was like, no. I've only played 2 rounds today. We're going to play another round. Brian and I are going to get together. We're going to play another round. We're going to make a tiebreak because I really don't want to win just because I played a certain scenario versus not playing the Barnabas player in the second round. I think that's ridiculous. So I decided to play another game with Brian, see if I can make a game out of it. Give him a chance to win back the title of second place, and with it, a couple more bucks in store credit, which is important. Of course, obviously, money is always important. So I decided to take my eStryker list. He decided to take his Harkevich list, and we threw down. So I believe the scenario we got was bunkers, which meant we each got a big 8-inch control zone thing. You can see them there, big white sheets of paper. And we need to contest the one on our right-hand side. And then we also got reinforcements. So my reinforcement for my Stryker list was Lilith, Epic Lilith, and not Lilith, wow, Epic Iris. They're kind of the same almost. And the Black 13th Gun Mage Strike Team. Other than that, my list was the same as I played my first game. 2 Hunters, 1 on a Journeyman, 1 on a unit of Gun Mages with the UA, a Hammersmith, a Squire, and a min unit of Stormblade Infantry. My opponent, see if I can remember what he has off the top of my head. He's got the Behemoth, a Decimator, a Destroyer, and a Juggernaut coming in reinforcements, a max unit of Mechanics, and a min unit of Mana Wars. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I didn't take many pictures over the course of this game. It's kind of late. I was pretty tired, so didn't take a lot of pictures. This, I believe, is the end of my second round. This is, I think, bottom round 2. I believe I went second. I think I did off the top of my head. So what happened here was, basically both of our armies moved up. I moved up a Hunter onto the hill there, much too close to the Behemoth and the Destroyer there. They took a couple shots at it, took out a couple boxes, didn't do too much. Unfortunately, didn't take out its gun, but that was pretty stupid of me to do. And basically, both were playing a very cagey game. My opponent ran up his Man of Wars, so I shot one down with the Hunters, and then just took some pot shots at, I think, his Juggernaut, which came in from the side there as a reinforcement. So as you can see, he's got his big Jack wall in the center there, the Destroyer, the Decimator, and the Behemoth. His Jacks do have Pathfinder, so he's just romping right through those woods pretty easily. And then he's got the Juggernaut off on the off on my left-hand flank there, going in to try to take the zone and just put some pressure on me over there. I've got all three of my Warjacks towing the zone, so it's going to be really tough for him to be able to take it. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. In my turn 2, I brought mine reinforcements in, ran Iris into the woods over there, and I believe I ran the Black 13th as well into the zone, so they were able to catch it and get a point because my opponent didn't send anything to contest it. So that was pretty useful. And other than that, everything else is basically just advancing, both playing very cagey. Deflection, keeping most of my infantry safe from his bombards, and just pecking away at him with the hunters slowly but surely. Okay, so this is, I believe, my opponent's round 3. I don't remember exactly what happened off the top of my head during this game. As you can see, moving his jacks up the center there, being very aggressive, and just taking shots with bombards and things. He did get his Juggernaut into one of my hunters and was able to wreck it pretty easily, I believe. So one of the hunters is down. But his Juggernaut is very close to me. Unfortunately, what I don't want to do is move the Hammersmith up and counterattack because the Behemoth's right there, and the Behemoth's going to be able to move in and just wipe my Jack out. And unfortunately, against this sort of army, besides the Stormblades, who can do good damage to a Jack if they get in there, I don't really have anything to break armor unless Stryker overcharges himself and charges into something, which I don't really want to do. So I'm going to rely on just disrupting his Jacks repeatedly until I can get a lane from Stryker onto Harkevich. So I really want to preserve my Hammersmith and my Hunters for that armor cracking power. Unfortunately, one of my Hunters is down. But I think I can just push the Juggernaut out of the circle and just keep my Jacks safe for now. Okay, here's my retaliation. I think what I did here was that I basically just tried to continue on the attrition war. Moved up Stryker, put some shots into the Destroyer and the Behemoth, was able to disrupt them both, and then shot a Lightning Storm at the Behemoth just because my opponent had moved up a couple of mechanics to repair it. So it didn't do anything to Behemoth, but killed a couple of mechanics, so that was very good. I put shots with the Gun Mages and with the Hunter into the Juggernaut, just pushed it back far enough away to not really be that much of a threat to me. And then other than that, just continuing to try to maneuver around all this heavy armor that my opponent has, because like I said, I really don't have any way to deal with it. On the right-hand side, you can't really see it, but Iris has moved up. She's gotten within 5 inches of the Decimator, so the Decimator moved over to tow the zone to stop me from getting any control points. So the Black 13th are just shooting at it, just pretty much ineffectively. But Iris is within 5 inches, so he can't be allocated focus. So the Decimator, pretty much, if he leaves, I'm going to win on scenario. And if he moves in any infantry or lighter things, then I'm going to be able to kill them with the Black 13th. So he really needs to keep that Decimator there to stop me from winning. And I'm just going to be able to keep it out of the game for basically the rest of the game. So not feeling too badly about that. And he's just taking pot shots at the Black 13th. If he hits, he'll kill a guy, but he's not going to hit. He needs an 11, and without boosting, that's almost impossible. So feeling pretty good on that front. I think in this turn, I was able to disrupt almost all of his Jacks except for the Juggernaut, and I think the Juggernaut actually had its Cortex taken out, so basically he couldn't allocate any focus, and I was feeling very safe at this point. So what my opponent did to sort of counteract my disruption of all of his Jacks was pop Harkevich's feat, which allows his Jacks to make an additional shot during their activation, or it's an immediate shot with the ranged weapons. I don't know off the top of my head. And then they can charge for free and gain +3 armor, so very nasty feat. He popped his feat and was able to charge with the Juggernaut and Behemoth onto the Hammersmith. He was basically just trying to kill all of my armor into the zone. Unfortunately, all my infantry is there too. He's moving up the Man of Wars to try to clear them, but he really needs to keep shield wall up to keep them safe from the Gun Mages and from the Hunter, so he is... it's not looking too good for him to take the zone, but he's going to be able to do a lot of damage to my Jacks. So he charged in with the Juggernaut, and the Behemoth was able to do a couple damage, but without being able to buy attacks and me with having Arc Shield up, I was pretty safe at this point from even the armor-piercing fists on the Behemoth. He also moved his Destroyer up, took a couple shots at Stryker, wasn't able to do anything, because he can't allocate focus, he couldn't boost to hit, and it was going to be very hard for him to hit defense 16. He needed a 12 on 3 dice, even with boosting. He needed boxcars without boosting, and just wasn't able to get through armor 16 with his little POW 7 blast damage on the bombard. So very, very lucky over there. The standoff continues between Iris and the Decimator and the Black 13th, but he's stopped me from getting points, which is always good. So in my retaliation over here, I decided to be very aggressive with my infantry. Basically, I was counting on the gun mages to be able to hold that objective and either push people off the objective or just contest it on their own. You know, showing 1 or 2 guys in there at a time and hoping that their defense 15 pretty much kept them safe. I think they were able to push the Man-O-Wars away. I don't remember. Well, the Man-O-Wars might have gotten charge off and killed a couple. I don't remember exactly what happened, but I'm still towing the zone. The Hammersmith's in there. He pounded a little bit onto the Juggernaut, I think, and was able to do a little bit of damage. Don't exactly remember, but the standoff sort of continued on that side. I charged in with my Stormblades, just trying to put pressure on Harkevich. Harkevich moved up onto the hill there, so he could keep his jacks in control range. So I charged up with the Stormblades. I believe I killed the remainder of the battle mechanics with them. Charged past the destroyer. Don't think I gave it any free strikes. Maybe 1 or 2. Don't remember off the top of my head, but killed the rest of the battle mechanics. And basically, like I said, putting pressure on Harkevich. Shot Harkevich with Iris, did a point of damage, and basically just saying, if you don't go on the offensive at this point, I'm just going to slowly take Harkevich down, slowly but surely, and eventually I will kill him. So basically, the only way my opponent can really try to win is either try to get Stryker. Stryker did disrupt the destroyer in front of him, so the destroyer can't even charge. And it's going to be unlikely that either of us will get a zone. We'll get control points unless we do something stupid like move out of our zones, which we're not going to do. So it's probably going to come down to a caster on caster face-off. Okay, here's going to be the last photo of the game. I missed my opponent's turn, but what he did was he ran Harkevich into the circle there. He replaced Harkevich with the unit leader for his battle mechanics, because that model's kind of awesome and didn't really matter anyway. So he ran Harkevich into the circle. I guess if he'd moved closer to the Stormblades, he wouldn't really have had a chance. He would have killed a couple and then just gotten charged by the remainder and probably been in charge range of Stryker. He couldn't really get further away from the. I guess he could have gone behind the forest in theory, but he still would have been within range of the Stormblades, because they could have moved up. Stryker could have moved up, velocityed up, feeded, and they could have gotten in range and just CMA'd him a couple times and killed him. So there wasn't really any way for him to get out of this situation. So I guess he just decided to run into the zone. Got shot by Iris, got shot by the Black 13th, got charged by the Stormblades. Then Stryker moved up and feeded, and the Stormblades, first they did a couple points of damage on CRAs, and then Stryker feeded, and they did a couple more CRAs, and were able to kill him. So that was that game in the bag. Good game to my opponent. Hope you guys enjoyed. It was kind of at the end there. As soon as my opponent charged into his zone with his jacks, he was sort of out of defensive measures for Harkevich. He does really need those jacks to be able to hold off the enemy from getting to him. So without those jacks, it's really tough for him. I think what my opponent could have done is instead of moving the Decimator over into the zone, he could have put the Man-O-Wars over there, or kept the Man-O-Wars with Harkevich. Just keeping something with Harkevich would have allowed him to survive a lot longer. And even failing that, the Man-O-Wars could probably have held the zone against the little skirmishy things that I had pretty easily. It would have taken me a long time to take out the Man-O-Wars with the Black 13th and Iris, even with my my brutal damage shots. Because only POW 10s can be shooting at dice minus 11 if they are in shield wall, and that's statistically not going to do any damage. Iris can do 1 point a turn, so not really very good odds there. So I think that that would have been better. As it stood, all the Man of Wars did was just move up until they got to my opponent's the zone my opponent was fighting for, and then killed one or two gun mages, I think, and basically just tied up and were annoying. But they didn't really accomplish too much after that. My opponent's jacks were contesting that zone pretty easily all by themselves. So, like I said, good game to my opponent. If you guys want some more battle reports, check out my channel. I got one more tournament coming up this weekend, and I'm going to try to get as many reports and photos out from that to you guys as possible. I probably run the same casters with a little different list. It's going to be a 50-point tournament. I've never played, I don't think I've ever played 50 points before, so it'll be interesting. I think I'm pretty much running the same list with just adding 15 points. The striker list, I think I added Iris and a Stormclad into my main list. I think I might have dropped the Hammersmith for something. I dropped the Hammersmith for the Stormclad, added the UA to the Stormblades for a little more, for assault and stuff, and added some other things. Darius, I added a Cyclone and Arlen Strangeways and Reinhold for a little extra shooting, and the Cyclone can keep infantry off my jacks pretty easily. So feeling pretty good about that. I'll give you guys some battle reports, so please stay tuned for some more cool battle reports.